Yo guys, what's going on? This is RJ Game News USA here, back today with another video, and today we are going to talk about that disgusting, fat, evil loser, Review Tech USA. So if you like this kind of content, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, because man oh man, I got some shit to say about good old Rich, our good old buddy Dickers, who once upon a time was one of my inspirations for starting YouTube, but I've quickly come to learn what a piece of shit he is, and obviously I've done my best to try to avoid talking about Dickers, to avoid talking about his stupid shit, because everything he does is simply for attention, and we should let him starve from being not given that attention. However, I have to comment on some of the stuff I've been seeing recently, because good God, this man keeps falling to a lower and lower level of life. And we're going to start with this, and that is the fact, and I will not show the video on screen, unlike him, the fact that he showed his kids on stream again. Listen, this motherfucker here wants people to not attack him or his kids, and he gets triggered and upset. Yet, he himself will sit there and bring them on stream. Nobody would ever know about your kids if you didn't talk about them. You have given out their full fucking legal names, okay? If any of the kids at the school that your kids go to see your embarrassing ass videos, and that's your father, that's embarrassing for your children. If you were my fucking father, I would be beyond embarrassed, okay? Bare minimum, rule number 1, you shouldn't put your kids on fucking stream, and you shouldn't talk about your kids on stream. That is fucking stupid. Look, yeah, I've talked about me and a little bit of personal stuff, or girlfriends or whatever, but never, ever will I ever talk about kids from women I'm dating or my own kids if I have any. Or if I do or don't, doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. You're a terrible fucking father for putting your kids on stream. And you want to know something else? You're a terrible fucking human being too, because you're a hypocrite. And you're going to sit there and be mad at people for talking about your family. Here's the thing. I don't agree with talking about your family. But people are going to do that when you put them in harm's way. You're putting them in harm's way, and then you wonder why they're a target of attack. First of all, my attacks on you are not a reflection of your family. They're unfortunate enough to be family with your dumbass. The attacks are on you. When I say you're a bad father, it's because you're a bad father. It's not about your kids. Bro, stop talking about your kids. Stop bringing them on stream on camera. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be a father. A father would not do that. Putting your children directly in harm's way for what? Some kind of sympathy bucks? Because you're running dry on money? Knock it off, bro. Ugh. I hair in my mouth. Anyway. And then we gotta talk about this. What the fuck happened to your setup? There's speculation going around you got kicked out of your mama's house because you probably tried to sell it out from underneath your dad and your mom. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's pathetic. You are literally streaming, for what I saw in the clip, you're streaming from a bedroom where the bed is directly behind you, some little hideaway room, in the back of your baby mama's house, and then, regress to being some sort of 15-year-old streamer. Are you serious? That's what you're doing now? And then you're kind of like whispering into the mic and not trying to wake people up. You are not the king of your own castle, bro. And I know for a fact at some point you actually were making decent money on YouTube. but now you're probably in a mountain of debt, and you have no life, you have no fucking expectations, and your wife's ugly as sin, okay? And let's talk about the fact, your wife, sorry, I call her your wife. It's your baby mama fucking used up slut, whatever she is to you. Off screen, you said her tits were out. Her kids were in the same room when you said that. So is your baby mama popping out her tits with kids in the room, man? Kids in the room. That's disgusting. And then you've also, in the past, had your daughter sitting on your lap while you were talking about OnlyFans shit. That's gross. That's disgusting, bro. Knock that shit off. Seriously, you should be embarrassed for yourself. If you had any self-respect as a man, you would just delete your channel and go get a real job at this point. Because you're exposing your fucking family for McDonald's wages. And you can make fun of all my setup all you want. You know, I'm playing a fucking character. This is the real you online all the time. You know what I mean? Like, the real you is just a loserish piece of shit. And one of the easiest ways we can tell, too, by the way, you wear the same clothes day after day after day. You don't wash. It doesn't look like you shower. It is disgusting. I can only imagine what that smell is like. See, unlike you, I do this magical thing called when I wear a shirt and wear it throughout the day, when I go to shower, I put the dirty clothes into the hamper to do something called laundry. You know, maybe your mama stopped doing your laundry for you by the time you were 38. I don't know. But you wear the fucking poo sweater almost every fucking day. And if it's not that, it's some other sweater. It's the same fucking thing on every fucking day. Which means either you take the clothes off, shower, and put the dirty clothes back on, or you're not showering in between. I shower every fucking day. I brush my teeth every fucking day. I put deodorant on every fucking day. And even a little bit of like cologne or whatever. You know what I mean? In fact, hold on one sec. Alright, you see this? This is an Irish Spring bar of soap. You use soap when you shower, bud. Just letting you know. Oh, and by the way, I use this Old Spice Saquon Soar scent of Satinol and Speed shampoo and conditioner for my hair. Which, you know, you don't have any hair on top of your head. But still. And see this? This pairs up nicely with the Old Spice shampoo and conditioner. This is Old Spice Wilderness deodorant. I put this on at least every day, sometimes twice. You know, you get home from work and you just put some more on to stay refreshed. Imagine that. Oh, and here's a concept. This is called toothpaste. This is a toothbrush. You put it on and you scrub. All right? You scrub your teeth so you could have fresh breath when you talk. And check this out. Mouthwash. Ooh, look at that. Could you imagine that? Sticking something in your gullet other than freaking seltzer. So look, I'm not going to make this video too long because I'm not going to show the clips of your children because I actually have sense unlike you. But look, man, seriously, dead ass. You want to change your life? Start looking for a real job. Get your kids off of streams. Delete every stream you ever had involving your kids. Okay? If you're going to continue YouTube, make it a side hustle. Talk about, the gaming news or whatever you think will make you money. Okay? Have some self-respect and get your own place. Don't live with mama. Or you and your baby mama could get a place or whatever. And put a fucking ring on it. and be a man and be the father that your kids need. Okay? Next up, make sure you take off your dirty clothes every day, put them in the hamper, make sure you shower every day, brush your teeth, put on cologne, right? And go be a fucking man out in the world. All right? Maybe, and even if you want to go beyond that, hit the gym and shit. Like, I know I'm a big guy, but I got some really, like, powerful upper muscles here. You know what I mean? That you do not have. So, like, I'm transforming my fat into muscle. If I could do it, you could do it too. Did you know that? And look, if you got a problem with me, you always say, hey, come say it to my face, come say it to my face. Guess what else you did? You doxed somebody, and you got a warning on your channel. Rightfully so, because you are a fucking doxer. Now, if you do want to meet up in person and have a conversation, we can have a conversation face to face. And I will say these things to you face to face. Even though you're not a friend of mine, and I never want you to be a friend of mine, at one point you were an inspiration to me creating my channel or to me even watching YouTube videos. You know what I mean? And I think there's things that I learned over time that I could teach you. And maybe we could have a productive conversation. Okay? Because the bottom line is this. I do own my own house. And I do have 2 paid off vehicles. And there are people I know personally that do watch this channel that can attest to that. Okay? So, and I have no problem pulling women as well. Obviously, I've gotten into hot water before, but got no issues there. All right? Even though I am a fucking fat guy too. But the bottom line is this. When you smell nice, when you're trying to be productive, when you're trying to be a good member of society, things break your way better. Okay? So, that's all I gotta say. But at the bare minimum, can you do me one favor, Rich? Just one fucking favor, and leave your children off stream. If that's the one takeaway you got from this, you could say I insulted you or as much as you want. You could do whatever you want to do. You could try to strike the video down. Doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. You know I'm right deep down. You shouldn't show your kids on stream. Okay? That's it. Anybody got any thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. This is RJ signing out. Peace. Have a good one. And yes, I borrowed that exit line from you, Rich.